Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about 32 latest SEO trends that one should follow in 2023 and beyond. So these are some of the cutting edge SEO strategies, much of which have not been yet proven to be a ranking factor, but still we have done some of them on our internal campaigns and some series of surveys around the clock, and we have came to a conclusion that this really works. And this is what I'm going to show you over the next few minutes, that some of the cutting edge SEO strategies that really works, and let us dive in. So starting with Chat GPT Optimization. So as everyone is aware that Chat GPT is recently getting popularized day by day, and this is one of the most important dialogue based AI operator that uses a special technology of predictive transformer, utilizing the Lambda 2 technology of Google that really answers people's query in real time. Now the thing is, it becomes an utmost important to appear in Chat GPT's result if you want to leverage your brand properly. So the best possible way to do is to declare an entity, because entity are some of the strongest signal that can trigger any AI predictive transformer about a particular brand, and this can differentiate a brand from a normal other things. So to create an entity, one of the common methodology is to define a well structured data. Now the main difference is that this structured data should be way elongated and more longer. This should contain as much as information as possible about your brand, as much as information, no matter whatever you do or whatever you sell, whatever you produce, every single bits and pieces of information is to be entered right here. And this can really give a proper and strong leverage to generate an entity ID in the eyes of search engine, and later this can be utilized by ChatGPT to make sure that it identifies that as a brand entity. So as you can see on the screen, this is some of our result. Like even if I ask who is that word, or if I want an Indian based digital marketing and artificial intelligence company, or even if I want ChatGPT to name one digital marketing agency that specializes in advanced SEO and AI based solution in India, then this is where that word comes into the play, all thanks to the entity schema markup. Next is some essential technique to consider in a content audit. So few things first, like first of all, one needs to make sure that the JavaScript is completely proper on a campaign. Now why I'm saying this, the reason I'm saying this is because like JavaScript can cause a real rendering delay on a content, and this can really cause the content to not show properly. And as you can see from the screenshot, from the Screaming Frog under Spider configuration in extraction, we have two different sides. One shows the main HTML content and the another shows the rendered version. Now if you click on show difference, this will show the differences in the data which is mismanaged. Now this becomes very useful for the JavaScript to be optimized so that there would not be any rendering issues. After that, we can simply scan the website from Screaming Frog, and we can go into the JavaScript and check all the pages with blocked resources, so they needs an immediate fix. Later, core web vitals along with index bloat, whereas we need to unnecessarily remove any unwanted pages that is serving no page value as a whole. So moving down to the next on the international SEO. Now the thing is that for international SEO is a part of the practice in which people or any websites tend to target globally without any specified location. Now the most important factor which prevails here is a proper definition of an hreflang tag. So suppose if you have a website of example.com, so you can use an hreflang tag of the UK version of the English, or the US version of the English, or even the Australian version of the English. So if someone visits from Australia, then they will be seeing the Australian version of the English, and if someone sees from US, they would be seeing the US version of the English. Now the thing is, what if someone from any other unspecified location enters into your website? In that case, xdefault tag comes into the play. With the help of xdefault, if someone comes from any other location which is not defined, they can be redirected, or they can be shown to a specified landing page which is meant for the default user, and this is very helpful for international SEO. Then there is u.com. Even though this is just a simple search engine that works on AI, some of the essential things is that you need to really leverage a lot on the entity ID and a proper schema markup. Some of the essential schema which needs to be done is an organizational schema, local business article, web page schema, entity, main entity, and schema markup. So if utilized all of them, then they can really give you a strong presence and an essence of the fact that your brand would be established as an entity and you can easily get recognized on eu.com later. This will also be helpful for ChatGPT as well, and also building an essential trust signals, as you can see from the graph. So a proper trust signal can also help you to get an edge over the Google EEAT guidelines on expertise, authority, trust, and your experience as well. And last but not the least, your web functionalities. Now moving down to the next on the crawl budget section. So basically crawl budget is something which determines the number of pages Google can crawl on a given day, and optimizing for the crawl budget is important because if Google is spending too much time crawling your campaign, then if you have a large website, then this might take ages to scan your entire web page. So it's always important to make sure that your crawl budget is preserved well and your crawl budget is not wasted in any chance possible. So common things to look out and how to optimize these are very simple. So you first need to search, like do a common Google site search as shown in the Google. You can take your list of, like observed index pages. In our case it's 847, and then head on the Google Search Console and check your number of observed index pages, which is 341. You just need to do a division. So the things falls like this, that if the score is between 1 to 3, it's good. If the score is 4 to 10, it's bad, and if it is 10 plus, then this is the worst. And sometimes if it is 0, then this signifies that there is some kind of an error where one of the data is not being shown. So in our case this falls under a good zone. However, if the crawl budget is bad, then few of the things which needs to be done is to fix unnecessary index bloat, get rid of the unwanted pages, redirect the unwanted pages into some of the useful pages, and merge the similar topic into one fine page to avoid cannibalization as well, and definitely optimizing for the sitemap and the mobile pages as well. Next, focusing on to Google's EEAT guidelines. So this is one of the new guidelines which have been laid out by Google that focuses specifically on experience, expert, authority, and trust. This is same as EAT, which we have previously explained, but the only difference is that Google now plays an extra leverage on the experience, as you can see from the Venn diagram. So trust, experience, authoritativeness, and expertise is the main key. However, trust is the common factor of all of them. Now the thing is, in order to make sure that you are properly optimized for the same, then one of my main advice would be to make sure that like a website have a proper author entity schema, and the author should be having a proper and the right amount of digital press releases to make sure that they have the right amount of subject matter experts. So the EEAT signal should be well up in this search. Next, it's very essential to leverage on the long tail keywords. Now I'll not go much into this in depth because this is a very common thing, but just want to make sure that the long tail keyword might have low search volume, but it is obvious that a low search volume can have the high intent, and also one of the gold mine is that the competition would be very easy to rank for. And as you can see the search demand graph, if the keyword search volumes are lower, then the intent is quite higher. So a long tail keyword should be one of the go-to strategy for your upcoming SEO strategies. Then comes the around operator. So with the help of around operator, Google can just give you the nearest neighbor keywords if you just put the common syntax. For example, if we type online around 10 supplements, then this will give us all of the results who have almost the nearest neighbor of 10 on between this kind of things. So we can get a proper idea about the competitors whom we should go for and whom we should work for. Next is the HTTP2. So this is basically a hyper transmission transfer protocol. So internet was using HTTP1 since a long, and now it has upgraded to HTTP2. This is how it handles the data on a large scale in the internet. Some of the common benefits, as you can see on the screen, are like this boosts website performance. Also like you can get a lot of improved security as well, and the modern technology is greatly improved. You can check via two ways. One is by Google Chrome web developers from the network section, and another is to use a tool like http2.pro. So as you can see from the screen, you can simply test that out. Now this is not really a ranking factor, but the thing is that having this improves the security and also the browser and server handshaking moment, which ultimately improves the time to first byte, which is definitely a ranking factor. So this is advisable to make sure that this is done on a campaign. Next comes the image format and the WebP. So the thing is that the WebP is the new compressionless and the lossless format that is a server or the browser based image format, like which gives 26% more like savings compared to PNG files, and are also lossless. Like they provide 34% more lossless, and also this reduces 22% additional bytes as well. Now the thing is that this doesn't necessarily is a ranking factor, but once again, having a proper image optimized is worth the try. So make sure that your images are well up to the mark with the WebP format, and this can give you the right amount of leveragation for you to have the success with the SEO score. So as you can see, like the quality does not compromise as well, so it's pretty good. You guys can try. Yeah, there are a few plugins to do the same. So there is a Smush, there is Lightspeed Cache, and you will find plenty out there in the web. Next comes the crawl depth. So basically crawl depth refers to the number of clicks a user needs to do from homepage to reach a particular page. Google recommends that to not be more than 3, because if it is more than 3, then this becomes quite hard for both the users to find that page and also for the bot to come across. The common obvious solution is to implement an HTML sitemap, which can ensure that in no more than 2 clicks a user can reach to any desired landing page or URL on a given campaign. This also improves the structure and the link equity diversification as a whole. Now next is the 3-pack and the local SEO. So basically 3-pack is something, as you can see, so 3-pack normally gives much more information, such as your business, your address, your entire things, your map information, and this gives very concrete information specifically for local businesses who are trying to optimize for the localized thing. Now the significance of local SEO is that this increases visibility for local users. This improves the credibility. If Google 3-pack ranking is highly visible, this have the chances to increase the traffic for local keywords, and obviously this gives the competitive advantages as well. Now if you want to optimize for local pack, you need to have a Google My Business. The titles, description should be well apart, all the details should be properly filled, and most importantly you should build lot of citations based backlink to your GMB so that your GMB can rank higher. Then comes the Google Multisearch, which is one of the new dimensional SEO. So with the help of Google Multisearch, this is where there are multi-directional SEO ways, such as the augmented reality 3D maps or even the Google Lens as well. So as you can see that with the help of Google Lens, if you just scan a particular image, things can be found out. Now how this works is very simple. You just need to add a proper attribute to the images, use proper video tags, image tags, proper schema markups wherever necessary, and also take care of the image and the video errors as found on the search console. This can really give you a proper edge over the competition. And also starting with the 3D images can also provide a new range of user experience and dynamics. My advice is to use a Blender, and later you can embed the code in an HTML, as you can see from the screen, and also you can use a 3D model structured data as shown on the screen, followed by a 3D schema markup code as well. So this will be giving you the leverage of the 3D image optimization as well, which can be later used for an augmented reality, which can take your SEO journey into the next new level. Then comes the Waterfall Optimization. So Waterfall normally refers to a graphical view of all the resources which is loaded by your browser once a user comes into the play. Now the reason why this is important is because this shows which are the proper assets, like the JavaScript, the CSS, the files, the HTML properties, or even any codes, what is being loaded, which asset composes of the most downloadable time and the resources. And by visualizing a waterfall diagram, you can re-optimize if you see that something is unnecessarily consuming a whole lot of time. And this can also help you prevent the TTFB, which is the time to first byte, and Google recommends that to be within 500 milliseconds. Then there is the entity stacking for SEO. This simply refers to a complex backlinking strategy which involves working on all of the Google properties such as Wix, Weebly, Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, and eBlogger, and much more. So you just need to create a structure wheel, as you can see from the screen, and then interlink everything with each other. The last link will go into your landing page. This just gives a boost over your backlinking strategy and a small edge over the competition. Then coming down to the navigational improvements. So breadcrumb navigation is very important in the fields of SEO. So breadcrumb navigation can really provide a good user experience, can make sure that your site's architecture is clean, can also help in minimizing the crawl depth effect, and makes the site's user experience and the architecture better. In fact, 90% of the user say that they would never return to a website which is difficult to navigate, and 3 out of the 4 businesses fail due to a poor user experience as well. Now, some of the best practices for implementing breadcrumb is always display the entire path, use forward angular bracket as a level separator, use contrast, bold the final term. Breadcrumb should not be used on the home page. Begin on the home page, place the crumbs at the top, make use of small type, do not hyperlink the final item. In breadcrumb, use full page titles. Now, one of the most important part is Google indexing API. So I'll just keep this very simple. So Google offers an indexing API now, with the help of which, if you run some Python, you can just index your website very fast and secure. And this is one of the Google's property which is very effective. We also have a separate video dedicatedly on this. I would recommend watching that as well. So these are some of the latest SEO measures which you can incorporate in your day-to-day strategies, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.